What is going on, Cardano friends? Welcome to the YouTube channel. My name is Fareed, and this is the Cardano Scoop. As a part of today's video, just like we normally do, we're going to start things off by reviewing general Cardano development updates. Following that, we're going to talk a little bit about MELD and their brand new design diary. We're also going to talk about Ardana and Orbis, specifically the recent NFT sale that was just being held by the Orbis team. And then after that, we're going to talk about JPG.store and a brand new minting platform that they plan on integrating, as well as the ability to accept credit card purchases. After that, we're going to talk about Genius X and a brand new partnership with a Web3 wallet launching on Cardano. And then we're going to wrap up today's video by talking about WingRiders and a brand new partnership with multi-chain. Now, if it's your first time here in the Cardano Scoop series, I aim to provide you guys in the Cardano community with the latest news, tutorials, and reviews when it comes to the top projects within the Cardano ecosystem. And so if these types of videos interest you, make sure to tap that like button. If it's your first time visiting the channel, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments about any of the content covered today, then make sure to leave a comment down below. Now that we've covered the introduction, let's jump straight into the general Cardano development updates. Now, if you guys are not aware, about 2 weeks ago, we saw the collapse of crypto exchange FTX. And during that time, we saw a huge push in narratives to move all assets from centralized exchanges over into decentralized ecosystems like Cardano. Now, what I want to point out here are going to be 3 key metrics related to the increase of blockchain activity that we have now seen since the last 2 weeks. The first is going to be the total number of new wallets for the Cardano blockchain. And as you guys can see here, taking a look at this chart here at the very bottom, we would normally have anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000 brand new wallets per day. And that's been pretty steady over the last 2 or 3 months. Now, after the collapse of FTX, we saw that number rise very sharply, all the way till about 11,000 wallets being created per day. And that has now kind of dipped down a little bit. And we're now trending at about 3,800 or so brand new wallets on the blockchain per day. So while we are not at all-time highs like we were about a week ago or so, we are still much higher than we are in terms of the norm, which is anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 wallets being created per day. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the actual total number of transactions. And so very similarly, as you guys can see here, we're bouncing between a range here over the last 2 or 3 months of about 80,000 and 70,000 total active addresses within the last 24 hours. Now, taking a look at around the same time that we saw the FTX collapse, that number of total active addresses actually shot all the way up until about, I think, 116,000 total active addresses. It has since rebounded down a little bit. However, it's still much higher than the normal total number of active addresses that we would see here on the blockchain. The very last thing I want to highlight here again in terms of metrics is going to be the total number of USD being spent per day in terms of fees on Cardano. And so while we're seeing an increase of activities and brand new wallets, we're actually seeing a decrease in the total number of fees being generated on Cardano per day. About 2 or 3 months ago during the July or the summertime period, we were generating anywhere between 12 to 14 to 15,000 US dollars in terms of total fees in the Cardano blockchain. Since then, we are on a nice and steady decline, right? And we actually saw that the Vassal hard fork brought additional enhancements to Cardano to reduce the fees for each of the transactions taking place. And so since then, we've seen a dramatic reduction of the total amount of USD being spent in 24 hours for Cardano fees. And it's now currently at about 7,000 or so US dollars. Again, compared to what it was 2 or 3 months ago, that's about a 40 or 50% in reduction. Next, I want to talk about the top token trading pairs on the MinSwap DEX within the last 24 hours. Coming in at number 1, we have the ADA/Dana or Ardana token pair, trading over 1 million ADA in the last 24 hours. Now, if you guys are not aware with the latest developments that just came out about the Ardana token, they just announced 2 days ago that they would be halting all development on their project. In addition to that, we saw the Orbis protocol also announce a very similar fate. So that's actually why I believe that we saw this much activity here for the Dana token within the last 24 hours, basically as a result of people liquidating or exiting the Ardana token position. Next, we have ADA LQ, or the liquid token. and they're coming in with a little bit less than 1 million ADA traded over the last 24 hours. Now, these guys were also involved in a little bit of drama in which we saw one of the team members from the Liquid team sell their Indigo tokens right after the TGE for the Indigo token launch. And so again, this I think did stir up a little bit of drama within the community, but they are coming in at number 2. Coming in at number 3 in terms of activity over the last 24 hours is the Indigo Protocol token. They are a synthetics platform that just launched on the Cardano mainnet about 3 days ago, and they're currently working through the process of adopting additional I assets or additional synthetic assets. Right below that, we have AADA and MELD, which are both DeFi protocols, followed by the MinSwap token, the Cornucopias token, and the Ape Society token. Moving over, we're going to talk a little bit more about MELD now. And what I want to highlight here is going to be the recent announcement of the MELD Design Diary. Now, if you guys don't know what MELD is, they're going to be a DeFi lending and borrowing protocol launching on Cardano, and they came on the scene in early January. Since then, they've released a staking feature, and we now are waiting on the official launch of their crypto-to-crypto lending testnet, which will be here on January 16th of 2023. Now, with that, we did see a brand new article released by Ken Oling, who's their CEO, which highlights the development of the design aspects of their app. And so the MELD design philosophy is one of the core aspects of MELD product development. We're looking forward to solving many of the major UX and UI issues in the crypto space over the coming months. At the core of this philosophy is a desire to be better regardless of success. Now, I'm not going to go through this entire article here, but just like normal, I will leave the link to it down in the description below. The article continues to read, the MELD app is a cross-chain wallet operating as both a non-custodial wallet and an aggregator of wallet extensions such as Nami, MetaMask, Trust Wallet, and Core Wallet, among others. The MELD app is going to be composed of 4 primary interfaces that will allow you to interact with the MELD protocol. The first is going to be the ability to aggregate or combine different assets. Next, you're going to be able to use the MELD app in order to move assets around. You'll also be able to use it to supply and earn a yield, and you can also use it to borrow assets. Now with that, there's going to be an additional description down here below regarding the actual user interface of the MELD app. Scrolling down, there's additional screenshots and some quick demos of the actual user interface. There's a section talking about the MELD bar, which is going to be this bar here at the very bottom where we can take some core actions. There's also a little bit of discussion around the dark and light modes, which I think are pretty standard now with a lot of apps. And then they also have the design system, which is going to be a design system that they plan to implement to simplify the process of getting all of their applications to have a unified look, form, and feel. Scrolling all the way down, there's additional discussions here about the MELD mobile application. So not only will MELD be an application that you can access through your regular computer browser, but they're also going to have the MELD app, which will be a downloadable wallet-based app. So we're also working on the mobile native version of the MELD app and doing GUI or graphical user interface work on what it will look like and how it will work. We will share more in this area in the next design diary. So if you guys are not following MELD already, you guys should definitely do that in order to stay updated if you guys want to find out more about their design diaries. Now, I do also want to highlight here that MELD also has what they call their dev diaries, which are going to be very similar to the design diaries, except these are going to highlight the development aspects of the protocol. Now, we also saw the MELD team actually attend what was just held over the past weekend, which was Cardano Summit 2022. And we have an article here from Stuart, who is the technical writer from MELD, highlighting their experience. So again, for the interest of time, I'm not going to cover all of this here. It's going to basically break down all of the speakers and a lot of the highlights and awards that were given out during the event. Now, we also saw a few members from the MELD team in attendance. We have here Martin all the way on the left-hand side. We have Trim, who is a member of the MELD team as well. And then we have Yusuf all the way on the right-hand side. So really good to see that the MELD team is staying active within the community and attending a lot of these Cardano community events. Next, I want to talk about an announcement that was also made by the MELD team actually following the recent collapse of Ardana and Orbis. And so there's been a lot of concern within the crypto community, again, because we saw the Ardana project basically run out of runway or run out of funds in the middle of development. So there's been a lot of other protocols basically getting questions as to what their runway looks like and whether or not they'll be able to weather the storm, which is the bear market. So if we jump into the MELD Discord, we actually saw a pretty lengthy announcement come directly from the MELD team, confirming and reassuring the community that the MELD team has more than enough runway to keep them healthy and developing until 2024. Now, the hope here would be that they can actually get some of their products up and going between now and 2024 in order for them to be able to start generating some additional revenue in addition to what they've already raised during their private sale and their token launch. Now, they did also leave the link to their wallet, which holds all of the assets that they raised early on as a part of their ISPO, which they have not yet touched, which I believe is a good sign in terms of the health and the strength of the project. Again, if you guys want to read this entire article here or this entire announcement, definitely jump into the Discord. They did also leave this in their Twitter. All right, that's going to wrap it up for updates on MELD here. Next, I want to switch over and talk a little bit about Ardana and Orbis, which I just mentioned are going to be halting all development for their projects. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Ardana, they were aiming to be a stable coin launching on Cardano. Obviously, that has changed over the past few days, being that they're now halting all of their development. And then Orbis was a layer 2 scaling solution aiming to basically build on top of Cardano a solution that would allow for faster processing and faster throughput in terms of transactions. So now that both of them have halted, we have yet to see any new announcements coming straight from Ardana and Ryan, who is the CEO or founder of Ardana. But moving over into Orbis, we did get a little bit of news from them. So as you guys can see here, they recently posted a message. This was actually earlier today about their Orbis NFT sale, which was actually ongoing right before they halted their project. So it says here, hello community, the recent Orbis NFT sale will be refunded fully to all participants. This will occur in a distribution next Wednesday with the ADA being returned to your wallets. So if you guys participated in the Orbis NFT sale, it does look like there's going to be a little bit of good news for you in the sense that you'll be able to get back the ADA that you used to purchase your NFTs. Now, one thing that has not been mentioned was the Ardana ISPO, right? So the Ardana ISPO actually kicked off in July and it's currently ongoing, but being that the project has now halted, there's questions within the community as to whether or not that's going to keep going and what exactly is going to happen in terms of rewards and whether or not it makes sense for people to now move their stakes. All right, that's going to wrap it up for updates on Orbis and Ardana. Next, we're going to move over and talk a little bit about JPG.store. Now, before we jump into the updates surrounding JPG.store, if you guys are enjoying this video so far and you found it to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could tap that like button. It's going to help to get this content out to other viewers within the Cardano community. All right, jumping over into JPG.store. What we have from them are going to be two huge updates in regards to their platform. The first is going to be that the JPG.store team is looking to implement a brand new feature to allow members from Cardano to purchase NFTs directly from their marketplace using a credit card. So you're not going to have to onboard your fiat through Coinbase, send it over to your Cardano wallet, and then from there actually navigate to purchase NFTs like we normally or currently do. So this is going to take, I think, a huge barrier out of the way, especially for people that are looking to get into NFTs, but may not want to have to go through the traditional fiat onboarding system. Now, the tweet here, reads, we're currently testing a feature where you will be able to buy NFTs directly with your card. This feature is coming store-wide soon. No ADAs required, just a wallet and a card, and you're good to go. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what wallet this is supported with, because I know that right now, obviously some of the wallets like Nami, Eternal, Flint, etc., those don't traditionally out of the box support credit cards. So it'll be interesting to see what wallet provider they use. But then also just another thought here, I do like this feature coming, but I want to make sure that we can also give people that don't want to use credit cards the ability to also purchase NFTs. So maybe if we can see this also be used with debit cards, that would be great. That way people don't have to necessarily use a credit card, but they can also use any card that they have access to purchase NFTs directly. The next thing I want to highlight coming from the JPEG Store team is going to be a brand new NFT minting platform. So this next tweet reads here, do you want to create your own NFT collection? Join us as a beta tester and launch your own NFT project with our brand new collection minting platform. Now, right now, they already have an existing minting platform. You can actually mint directly from JPEG.store. Normally, they have two tabs that are available when you visit their website, the activity tab and then the supply tab where you can see all of the NFTs currently listed. There's a third tab now that they already have, which is a brand new minting tab, which allows you to collaborate with them and mint directly on their platform. But it looks like there's going to be something else new coming down the works. So if I scroll down just a little bit, there is a link here and it states here, if you want early access to the platform, you can fill out this form. So if you guys are interested in filling out this form, I will go ahead and leave the link to it down in the description below. That is going to wrap it up for updates when it comes to JPEG.store. Next, I want to move over and talk a little bit about Genius X and a brand new partner, which is Thrift Finance. Now, if you're not familiar with Genius X, they're going to be an accelerator program launching on the blockchain, helping brand new startups reach speed, scalability, and adoption. Now, with that said, this article here is highlighting the recent partnership between Genius X and Thrift. And as it states here, Thrift Finance is building a suite of RealFi products on Cardano for end users to take charge of their finances and communicate privately. Thrift Finance was incubated under Areob, a program supported, among other established firms, by Input Output Global, or IOG, the leader of development on Cardano. So this looks like it's a pretty prominent program that Thrift Finance underwent, and they're now collaborating with Genius X. Now, their primary goal is to help bank the hundreds of millions of unbanked people in developing economies, especially in Africa. Their research discovered that 50% of sub-Saharan population is currently unbanked. Thrift Finance has a peer-to-peer secure fiat on and off ramp for users to purchase supported tokens, fund accounts, or withdraw quickly. The protocol allows users to save using stable currencies through non-custodial rails, where they not only take charge of their data, but also save while earning passively. As they save, users will also receive rewards and NFTs. In the future, Thrift Finance plans to roll out a hybrid P2P or peer-to-peer lending protocol to promote microloans and a saving culture in emerging economies using cryptocurrencies. In this system, Thrift Finance will disperse funds directly to borrowers who broadcasted their loans in the lending market in exchange for yield. Scrolling down, in early November 2022, Thrift Finance announced its partnership with Microsoft for startups. So they also have a collaboration with Microsoft. Under the Africa Transformation Office, or ATO for short, Microsoft plans to support 1,000 African startups, including Thrift Finance. So that's going to wrap it up here for the article here on Thrift Finance. I do have their website here pulled up in a separate tab, and I will leave again the link to this website down in the description below if you guys want to find out more about what they have to offer. The last item I want to cover as a part of today's Cardano Scoop is going to be a brand new partnership between the WingRiders DEX and the multi-chain platform. Now, if you're not familiar with multi-chain, they were previously referred to as AnySwap. Now, taking a closer look at their Twitter, what exactly does this brand new partnership mean, and how will it benefit the greater Cardano community? Well, simply put, you'll be able to bridge assets using the multi-chain platform in order to perform token swaps, stake assets, and provide liquidity into liquidity pools. You'll also be able to use the multi-chain platform to deposit into yield farms. Now, this is a partnership here with a bridging platform similar to the partnership between the WingRiders DEX and Nomad. Now, if you guys are not familiar, there was an exploit or a hack that did occur on the Nomad platform that did impact the WingRiders deck. So hopefully they're taking security here very seriously, being that we did have some impacts previously with certain partnerships that were very similar to what we're seeing now with multi-chain. With that said, I do believe that this announcement as a whole is positive for Cardano, being that we're seeing builders from outside the community collaborate with players building directly from within. That is going to bring us to a close for today's Cardano Scoop update, in which we talked about the brand new release of the MELD Design Diaries, the updates coming from JPG.store, as well as a brand new partnership between Genius X and Thrift Finance, as well as WingRiders and the multi-chain application. With that said, if you guys found any of the information covered as a part of today's video to be helpful, then please make sure to tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments about any of the topics covered as a part of today's video, then make sure to leave a comment down below. With that said, I will see you guys in the next video.